So I've been having some fun playing all these new retro style beat 'em ups that have been coming out. And recently we just got G.I. Joe Wrath of the Cobra. Yeah, I've been looking forward to this one. I mean, we just did the video for Karate Kid Street Rumble, and that one I was a bit mixed on. And be all honest with you, I was really looking forward to that one. I was looking forward to this one. So I was real hopeful on this one, man. I love G.I. Joe back in the day. So let's just get into it. I'm going to be straight honest with you. They sent this to me for purpose of review. And if they didn't, I was going to buy it anyway because I was looking forward to it. So this game, you got single player mode, you got couch co-op mode. And through Steam, which is what I played it on, you have a remote play together. So like that's kind of like online couch co-op with your friends list. There's no real online multiplayer though, like no lobbies or anything. But yeah, you got that remote play together. So you can do that, I guess. But yeah, it is what it is. So you got 4 playable characters you could select from the get-go. We'll get more into that in a moment. There are a few others, couple others. But you got Snake Eyes, Duke, Roadblock, and Scarlet. Now, they're not just all the same. They do all play a little different. So that's cool. Now, in this game, you got 2 attacks, a special attack, and then you got a jump, and then a block button. I guarantee you, you will never use that block button. I never did. I tried it, but there was never really a reason for me to use it, so I never did, and I did beat the game. So let's get into the good. So I want to kind of separate the good from the bad here. Every game's got a little bit of both, right? Sometimes one outweighs the other. So we'll get into which side outweighs the other in a moment. But the good. So the graphics, my opinion, really cool. Graphics have a nice retro aesthetic. The animations are pretty good for all the characters and enemies. The backgrounds, they are bright and colorful. Does remind you of the G.I. Joe cartoon and toys. Lots of the vehicles and recognizable characters make an appearance in the game. Give lots of nostalgia for fans, right? The gameplay, I felt it was decent. The hitboxes were, in my opinion, forgiving. That's a good thing. Didn't have to be perfectly lined up to register hits like some other beat 'em ups that I recently played, that recently released, like Karate Kid. I don't think I mentioned that in that video, but man, there was instances where it was like, dude, if you weren't perfectly lined up, your hits wouldn't register. In this game, thank you, baby Cheez-Its. Like, you didn't have to be perfectly lined up, and that felt great. I like that. It's forgiving, and that is good. It felt really nice playing this game, fighting these guys, right? That's a good thing. That's a good thing. There's a decent flow of enemies, enemy types throughout the game. You know, though in typical beat 'em up fashion, you'll be seeing all of them a lot. But I think there was a decent variety for the most part after the first couple stages. Like the first couple stages, you might be like, man, are they just gonna keep recycling the same people over and over again? But then as you keep progressing, you're like, oh wow, they keep introducing new guys. So that was cool. There are a lot of enemy types, but you do see them a lot. So that's just the way it is. It's a beat 'em up. Just like any, old school 2D style game. You play Super Mario, you see the same enemies over and over again. So it's not something that I'm complaining about. Here, you do have a nice variety. That was pretty awesome. So I dig that. And they all the enemies, like, they had different special attacks and moves. So that was cool. Now, we'll kind of circle back on the good in a moment. Let's talk about the bad. So the bad. 12 stages. Not bad that there's 12 stages. That's good. You got a decent amount of stages. But some of them, they do kind of drag on and on. And this does seem to be a problem with a lot of newer beat 'em ups. They just go on for too long. At least they feel that way. And even if that's just a feeling, I think there's a reason for it. And I brought this up recently. It's because like so many other beat 'em ups that have recently released, they're all just cookie cutter, nothing new, no risks taken, straightforward classic beat 'em up action. No big events taking place throughout the stages. No cool encounters to mix things up. No crazy set pieces that add anything. No cool weird interactions. Things that you could like destroy or mess around with. No vehicle. Like, there's not a lot going on. This really could just be any property, any intellectual property slapped onto the same gameplay, even some of the same graphics, to be honest with you. And it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter. It would just be whatever IP they said it was. That's just how it is. There really is nothing special going on here. And it's such a shame, in my opinion. I mean, maybe G.I. Joe would have been better suited as a Metal Slug clone instead, a run-and-gun action style game. But okay, moving on. The music, while I think it's okay, I'm not saying it's bad. You know, music is subjective. And I know some talented people did the music for this game. I just feel for the property and the style of gameplay, none of the music was memorable. None of it really added anything to the experience, in my opinion. There's so many beat 'em ups where the music is so bumping and just kind of adds to it, where it just feels like part of the game. The music in this game, other than, you know, the intro, like the actual gameplay music in the game, didn't really add anything. Barely even tell it was there. Just kind of in one ear, out the other. That's my opinion. You may have a different opinion. I don't know, but that's just the way it was. Sound effects in the game, I guess they're okay, but I wish there was a little more in the way of voices to mix things up instead of just the non-stop thwack sounds and occasional laser sounds. Sometimes there were like sound effects from explosions or other things that seemed to not trigger. So I'm assuming a few oddball bugs in the sound department. Now, another thing that I think is bad was the bosses. All pretty much bland, boring fights. Cool bosses, but just boring. I played on normal. I didn't have much of an issue with most of them. I think maybe Storm Shadow at first was the only one that gave me a little bit of a difficult fight, so I just figured them out. But all the bosses were fairly simple, straightforward fights. Some of them, they might have like some kind of special move, but with some of them, you can interrupt their special move or stop it just by attacking them. The final boss was the only one that was a little bit of a unique fight. And actually, now that I'm saying that might even be giving it too much credit. I mean, that's kind of the way it is. But this game, now it does have some replayability with unlocks. Like, you collect these floppy disks that pretty much every enemy drops. Like, there's tons of them. But it feels like you're collecting a ton of them, but you're really not. So it's like currency. Instead of coins, you're collecting floppies. Now, you can use them to buy arcade mode, to unlock arcade mode, boss rush mode, gameplay modifiers, like an enemy randomizer, or like, I think there was like an item randomizer, different like power-up type things. And then there's character unlocks. You can unlock Gun-Ho and Ripcord. But these floppies, holy crap, you got to grind quite a bit to unlock everything. Like, all these unlocks are like thousands of freaking floppies. My first playthrough of the game, like, I thought, oh, cool, man, I'm collecting so many damn floppies. I'm going to be able to unlock arcade mode, maybe get me a character. Hell no, I couldn't unlock anything. I didn't have enough floppies to unlock. Like, I could unlock maybe one of the modifiers that was like 1,500 floppies, but I couldn't unlock any of the other cool stuff. So yeah, you got to grind it out, man. You got to play through this game quite a few times if you want to unlock everything. But there you go. Like, this is kind of an average-ass beat-em-up, man. Nothing special going on. They're not taking risks. They're not doing anything unique. It's a shame. I keep saying it. I want to love this game, but it's forgettable. I'm going to forget about it right after I upload this video. That's unfortunate. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Bye.